Narrating is not something I do a lot of in my videos, but there are just a few things that need to be explained in this one, which I'll do on the replay at the 1325 mark. Some of you might just be perplexed if I just let it play like I normally do. If that doesn't sound compelling enough, well, you can just watch the first one, which was completed the usual way. Okay, as promised, I need to narrate this video to make it less confusing for those who want to do something like this. This is a project that came out better than I had hoped, surprising considering it was my first time doing it and how often I changed my mind about it. I'm off to a good start already here, as I didn't have my camera on me when I decided to take this tree. Brilliant for a photographer. So I get to watch this part in glorious cell phone video. I didn't just arbitrarily pick a plot of land and help myself to a tree I liked. I asked the owner first, and I suggest you do the same or risk being shot at. I was only shot at twice. I'm just taking off what's left of the bark, which wasn't a lot. I thought I might have to draw knife a tree, but this tree was already stripped, so win for me. I'm just taking off the remnants here, using just a spoke shave and a hatchet. It's been perpetually windy here for about a year and a half, so there seems to be no avoiding it. I cut a straighter line using a circular saw than with a chainsaw, so I'm using one to cut a little less than halfway through, and then use a good old handsaw to take care of the rest. You certainly don't have to do it this way. If your chainsaw skills are better than mine, then by all means go that route. I just wanted to ensure I didn't bevel the cuts at all. And of course, make sure you clean off all the dirt if you decide to do this. This tree was pretty clean to the eye until I took a brush to it. This is a solution I've used before, consisting of vinegar, water, and shredded up pieces of steel wool. The wood will patina once the solution is applied, and it gives it a nice aged appearance. I really didn't know what I was going for in color. I just figured I would try this first. It's good to let this sit for about a week before using it. Okay, this is the second edit on the shelves. The first edit I cut out as those shelves didn't fit the way I had wanted, especially when I moved the tree in place, and I didn't like them anyway. So making some new ones wasn't so bad. I just left them at 3/4 of an inch. The first shelves I built were much thicker. The thinking was, at the time anyway, that I needed some thick shelves fastened to the wall studs to anchor the tree in place, but the tree fit pretty tight against the corner, and all I needed, for peace of mind anyway, was a safety chain. I will fasten these shelves against the studs anyway, but I really don't think the tree is in any danger of falling over. Simple pine shelves with just a different shape to them, and the corners chamfered a bit. Now that's a horrible looking circle there, but keep in mind that's ascribed from the diameter of the tree. It wasn't meant to be a perfect circle. Since these shelves are fitting around the tree, I knew there wasn't going to be any way to clamp the two halves together, so the best way to do that is with dowels or biscuits. I know the mere mention of biscuits can start fistfights with woodworkers, but in this case you need something to hold the shelves in place while the glue sets up. Okay, so here's where things may get confusing. First off, this solution works really well on some woods. What it does, it speeds up the aging process, as I mentioned before, in woods low in tannins. But dopey me, this tree is already aged and obviously already high in tannins, so the solution had zero effect on the wood. But again, I didn't know really what I was going for in color. I was just experimenting. Pretty clear that this experiment failed. Now, this is not the color left behind by the solution. I made the mistake of using Can of Finish. I wasn't going to use it on any other project. I think it was called Gunstock or something. So instead of letting it go to waste, I used it on this. That was a big mistake because this tree looked like a telephone pole when I was finished. But all wasn't lost because after sanding, it left some nice streaks that I liked. In the end, I just used a reliable amber shellac. Shellac can be tricky to work with sometimes, but on a project like this, you're really going for highlighting the imperfections, so, and frankly, mission accomplished. Okay, now the fun part. This is the hook for the safety chain I thought I might need to hold the tree in place while I fastened the shelves and really secured it, but didn't really need it in the end. As I mentioned before, the length of the tree fit pretty tightly between the floor and the ceiling, so the chain is just really there for peace of mind. Okay, now I picked one of the most humid days to move this 200-pound behemoth. I'm just trying to show everyone that you can move a tree this heavy on your own, but you're better off getting a friend or neighbor to help you out. As you can plainly see, it's not that easy. But maybe you don't have any friends. Suppose nobody likes you. You can still move it if you have to. I didn't have enough cameras to show me actually leaning the tree into place, so you'll just have to imagine it, but here I am installing some corner braces you would normally use for like porches. I didn't want wimpy looking ones, and I didn't want a wood cleat either, so these are just being attached directly to the wall studs, obviously. Attaching to drywall won't do anything for you with a tree this heavy. I've seen versions of this where the shelves are just attached to the trunk, but I wanted to make it look as though the tree grew through the shelves instead. Eventually I'll be putting some under cabinet lighting or maybe even some simple robe lights, but for the purpose of this video, that's it. Fun project that took a lot of planning that was changed several times, but I'm pretty happy with the result. Thanks for watching.